right, welcome everybody to Michael Maher Live. This is a show where we talk about whatever I want to talk about because it's my show and I name the show. But we mostly talk about helping brands to stay relevant in a very fast paced and rapidly changing world. Today on the show, I have with me Sabir Semerkant. He is a creator of Rapid 2X. Welcome to the show, Sabir. Just tell us a little bit about what you do.
First of all, thank you, Michael, for having me on your show. Love the show. Uh, so a bit about me. I've been in the e-com game for 25 plus years. Touched over 200 plus brands. To my credit, $1 billion plus in incremental e-com revenue
Boom, there you
over
go.
that career. And the past 3 years has been very, very interesting times with AI.
We were chatting, and thank you for dealing with some technical difficulties. We went late, everybody, because of some issues on our end. But regardless, glad that you're here. When people, there's always these themes and fads and stuff that come out, and AI is certainly not a fad, but there are these new like things that people push. And like, here's even with AI, we've seen like you need to implement it, and then you need to change your search, and now you need to build an agent, and there's all this stuff, and it's just changing so quickly. A lot of people feel like this is different than any other revolution we've had, which I'm sure there's some novelty to this. I feel like there's nothing new under the sun. However, the speed at which things are changing, this is something I've talked about with friends of mine, colleagues, etc. The speed at which things change right now, it's rapidly and much greater than anything else, than the internet revolution, than the industrial revolution. So that speed, I think, can make people feel it's very easy for them to feel left behind. I'm getting that you probably sense that as well too. And so people are probably apprehensive, right, to start making changes because they just like, I don't even know where to begin.
That's really a valid point. Actually, in the Rapid 2X program, we have so many brands. They feel overwhelmed with the amount of stuff they need to do, and quite a lot of the e-com Shopify brands, unfortunately, they're missing a lot of the foundational stuff. When they miss when they miss that, and then they hear a lot of noise about. It's not just AI, by the way. It's about Google Ads. It's about SEO, organic algorithm changed.
Yeah.
It's about Apple with the privacy iOS updates. Things like that.
Yeah.
It's always a moving target, and it does feel overwhelming, right? That's one of the reasons you belong to a community like Rapid 2X, where what I do is it's not a course that you just go and take on your own. We do live sessions twice a week, so that whenever either I'm doing a workshop on how to resolve that issue that
Yeah.
you're having, right, or that we are focused on. We can go into more detail about how the program works and stuff like that too. However, every 6 weeks for 3 weeks, we focus on intense Q&A, right? So where the brands are literally sharing their screen and showing me, okay, this is where I'm stuck. This is what's happening. And these are not just technical issues. These are product positioning, offer positioning. Prime Day is coming up. This is coming. Mother's Day is
Sure.
coming up. Black Friday, whatever the real business issues are, and we go through that, and it's not a one size fits all, right? So you cannot read a blog article about fashion and you're in the supplements business and think that that's going to apply to
Sure.
you. And this is where the deep scars that I bring to the table helps. And when it comes to AI, right? The thing is, I have been on this ride for a long time. As I said, I've been in the ecom arena since the birth of ecom. Before that, I was launching internet companies, before ecom existed, So
There
all
you
of
go.
these revolutions that we have seen, whether it was search engine, then it was social media, then we did have, and I don't think it's gone away yet, blockchain and crypto and stuff like that. I don't think that has gone. I think that's gonna become a normal thing for
I
all of
think it's
us.
just a little bit not as talked about because of AI stuff, but I feel like the whole blockchain capabilities that are going to come from that, like I think there's way more to come, and crypto is
I
just the like
strongly believe
intro
that
point.
because of AI, that resurgence of blockchain is going to become very practical now, right? Because one of the challenges of blockchain was had to do with technical implementation of that in your business, right? So I believe that that's gonna come about. But I mean, right now, the world we are living in, whether it's very recently Grok 4.5 from Elon, right, and we have from Sam Altman, we have GPT
Yeah.
5.6 and Fable 5, from coming from Anthropic team. It's those are we are living in very exciting times. So things that would take a founder forever to do, mainly because that you require that technical experience in order to get that thing done, whatever that thing is, right? Now, now if you have the right guidance, AI can be an amazing that technical partner that can actually help you implement those things. All the while you're working on marketing strategies with AI, right? And
Right.
you're trying to hone in on the things you want to accomplish. And I to
That's the
kind of
key
get
piece though too, is with the right guidance. It
yeah,
can't just do it for you. You still need to have expertise. You need to have something that you bring to the table to help instruct it. But to your point, it can help you do the building. You don't have to do it on your own. Sometimes it'll talk to you, and LLM will talk to you. And I get people that are like, well, what should I do? And I'm like, have the conversation.
yeah.
Keep going. Like, okay, well, you want me to do this? How do I do this? What do I do? I'm getting conversations with Claude all the time where it's like, you kind of had some trouble with this. Let's go this other way. And I'm like, hey, don't underestimate me. I can figure this out. Don't self direct me. This is the direction we're going. So give me what I need to make that happen. And I'll respond appropriately.
One of the advice I'll give you to actually tame AI is to do the following, right? Whatever topic it is, right? As humans, we tend to, I don't know if it's ego, I don't know what it is. It's just a human element, right?
Sure.
We pretend that we know things, right? We might know it maybe 5%, maybe 10%, right? We don't know it the other 95% of
Right.
the thing. So even with my experience with 25 plus years, my prompts usually start with, or workflows start with, I'm a novice. I don't know topic X, right? I want to explore this in the context of my business, right? So my business is actually set up as a folder on my computer, and
Yeah.
I have all three. I have all three AI clients running at the same time: Grok,
Okay.
Codex, and Claude Code.
Okay.
And I start with that because the thing is, I know what I know, and I am extremely humble, extremely, and you have to be extremely humble to know I'm a novice, right? And that's a great place to start, knowing that you don't know, right? That's an amazing spot to be in, right?
Well, it removes some of that hubris where you fall on your face and you're not worried if you do fall on your face, like, okay, well, no big deal. But when you're worried about falling in your face, you often audit yourself and prevent yourself from quote unquote looking stupid or asking the wrong question, when in reality there's no really right or wrong question except like, should I care about this thing? Well, like, I don't know, that's up to you. But like asking more to find something out, that's just discovery. You're continuing to discover.
I mean, I see that with founders, and I what I do is in my conversation with ecom founders, right? I dissect the conversation starting from the ground, right? From the ground up, right? I never take any conversation that I know that this is step 25.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Knowing the founder, they're at step two and a half. So why are you talking about step 25 where you're missing from 2.5 to 25? You're missing all of the part of that conversation,
Yeah.
right? You're missing that. And not only are you missing it, I can see it clearly that your business is missing it, right? So let's talk about setting that up. And the same applies to when you have conversations with AI. I see a lot of founders making this gigantic mistake, right? They start the conversation at 25, step 25, right?
Yeah.
Starting where I'm saying start at zero. I'm a novice. Like even if you have been doing affiliate marketing or influencer marketing for, let's say, for past 3 years, right? You may be doing certain things just because of behavior, because maybe the freelancer you hired, they gave you those three things to do and you're doing that, and you
Yeah.
think that whatever you did in 2020 is still relevant in 2026. It's not. So
Right.
it's a good place to start at the novice level, and then have that incremental conversation. Imagine AI as the as this person you met at a party, right? They have no context into, they
Mm,
may be incredibly intelligent, like Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory, right?
yeah,
But they don't know your context. They don't know anything about the nuances of the challenges, your category, the ebb and flow of your category that it goes
yeah,
through. It doesn't know anything about that. They're amazing nuclear physicists. They can do amazing things. This is
yeah.
why, like Elon says, with Grok, now it's comparable to, like, I don't know, 50 PhD level people solving problems. Yeah, okay, but I know that the
It
PhD
still
level
needs
people
context.
don't know everyday challenges that go on. And also consumer attention span is different, right? Consumer attention is different, in this world right now, today, right? uh, Consumers ignore you in 1.7 seconds, right? So if your
Yeah.
website is taking 10 seconds to load, right,
Oh, they're not even
for
gonna
it
make
to
it to
interact,
4. They're
why are
done.
you trying to solve a problem that's what I call a later problem, right?
Yeah,
It's a
right,
later
yeah.
problem you're trying to solve. Solve the problem right now. First is attention span. You drive so much traffic to your site. Great job, right? Meta ads, Google ads, your influencers, organic. You did amazing job. As a founder, you do videos on a regular basis on all the streaming platforms and stuff. Great. People showed up. Your site is taking 10 seconds to load. Why are you fixing other problems? Fix this
Well,
first.
and
Make
those
sure
things
that your
aren't
site
real
performs
problems.
properly.
Those things aren't real problems anyway, because people aren't even able to get to you. So, like you said, it's a later problem. It's something that you can focus on in the future once you get to that place. And the basics are always the basics. This happens on Amazon all the time where people are like, everything's evolving and changing, and Amazon changes so fast. I'm like, well, yeah, like there are changes, but the basics are still true. You have to have a great product. A lot of people forget that. You have to have a great product. Not a good product.
No,
Good is
no,
the enemy
because
of
they
great.
assume that their product is greatest.
It,
Nobody calls their child ugly. That's the
ugly, right?
problem.
Yeah. And if they do, then their friends isolate them. But you have to have a great product. Number one. Number two, you need to get the right traffic to the page. And number three, you need to get people to be ready to convert, like give them the reason why. And then you optimize from there. But like those basics get forgotten because they're not sexy, but they're still the basics. A site loading is not very sexy, but you know what's unsexy? Even more unsexy is people leaving your site before they even get a chance to see what you're about.
I can tell you what I can attribute the $1 billion in incremental sales across 200 plus brands. Doing the most boring thing in the world
There you go.
that everybody else ignores, right?
Yeah.
The most boring thing is the important thing you want to do. And also in your business, you want your business to be extremely boring when it comes to anything operational, right?
Oh, I was just
And
gonna. Yeah.
marketing is also operations, by the way, right? You want it to be as boring as possible so that you can focus on taking that and scaling it, right? Scale the boring, and you will
Mm,
succeed. You will grow that business. In the Rapid 2X, I can tell you we do a lot of boring things, right? We don't do nice, shiny things. We do utilize AI, but we use it in the most boring way because we wanted to assist our business in
sure.
order to speed up our implementation and the work that we need to do, right? What we don't do is, oh, it's nice, shiny thing, new thing came out. Oh, loop engineering is a sexy thing. What are we doing with that? Okay, you have not you have not fixed these other things. Let's work on that first. Right? And
Yeah.
when you focus on the boring, that's when you realize that the business needs to be boring, right? That when your business is boring, your operations is boring, what ends up happening is that your business, you're not worried about retention, you're not worried about acquisition, you're not worried about reactivation, you're not worried about customer reviews, because you use the example of Amazon with a product, right? What does Amazon algorithm have anything to do with the fact that the ketchup that you sell on Amazon, the bottle cap comes off? You need to operationally, you need to fix that and put it in a bubble wrap, because you don't know what happens in that Amazon warehouse when your product gets there.
Well, and
How is that
actually,
delivered?
Amazon is gonna go and look at reviews, and it's gonna look at all this stuff that is contextual, like why is someone or
And
intent?
penalize you.
Why? Yeah. Why are people doing this? So you think? I just need to sell more units. When in reality, you need to take a hard look at, is my product actually functioning the way that it needs to? And one of the best things you could also do is just anecdotal interviews with customers like, hey, tell me, did you have problems with this? Was this good? Was this what you expected? You can gather large data too, but go in and actually find out what's going on and then say, hey, we, in order to be where we want to be, we're not exactly there. We have to make the changes to the product so we can be where we want to be. But a lot of people want to think, oh, it's, it's user error or whatever the case might be. And that may be true, but your product can still be better.
Yep. I mean, this is where the power of AI helps tremendously. AI is amazing at organizing things, right? So I would scrape and download all of my Amazon reviews. I would download my competition's
Yes.
reviews. I will download my customer service live chat, my customer service phone call transcripts. Nowadays, you have voice APIs also
Yep.
that would turn it into they would turn it into a transcript, right? So it's not just hidden inside of an audio file, right? You can take all of that and you can say that what's wrong with me, right? With my brand, right? And what's wrong with the competition also? Maybe competition is not addressing their customers' concerns, and you are better at addressing that. And how about updating your next update to your product to address that and say that, oh,
Right.
our product lasts 78% more than others, right? This is this kind of stuff that we actually go through in the Rapid 2X, and the average performance, by the way, across 200 plus brands, actual published data. You can take a look at all the case studies on our site, with all the case studies from the founder's mouth directly. In the first 12 weeks, 108% increase in revenue. So
There you go.
these are not small increases like, oh, 7% increase because we turned the button from a green to an orange or something like that.
Sure.
But it's more fundamental and more meaningful. And more importantly, it's not just a top line revenue. Anyone, if you give them enough paid media budget, they can raise revenue.
Sure.
But it's how about the traffic you're already getting? What are you doing about that traffic, right?
Increasing the ROI and what you're sending there. Are you giving them more reason to purchase and buy all those? Yeah, that makes a ton of
And
sense.
some founders, it's a tough pill to swallow when they hear it, because I'm a straight shooter. You're right. You need to get over it, right? As a
Right.
founder, right? Oh, I might tell you, right, when we are going through that intense Q&A in our community, I might tell you, hey, you're not set up for paid media. But if I shut it down, well, what's going to happen? Well, your wallet is going to get heavier because you're not spending frivolously, right? On things that you don't know if it's going to work. And it's not working. I can tell you from data. You showed me 3 years of data, and it shows me that you're not. Yeah, understanding things like, for example, everybody obsesses over ROAS, right?
Yeah.
That's a very sexy term that everybody loves. I hate it, right?
Yeah.
Because ROAS, they just take the revenue from this current ad that they're running, and then they divide that by the cost, and they go like, oh, my ROAS is, insert a number,
Sure.
1.75x, right? All right, I see that you were at 4x when you were at $10,000, right? When you were spending 10,000 over the 3 years that I see, when you increased it and you doubled it over, let's say, 6 or 9 months, you went to $20,000 spent, and now your marginal ROAS, that incremental $10,000 that you added, now your total ROAS has dropped down from that whatever random number you shared with me, 1.75x.
Yeah.
Now it's ineffective. It's 1.2x. So that incremental spend was not effective, right? There's something wrong with that. You need to address in order to, so that when we are incrementally increasing our revenue, we want to still be profitable. Otherwise, if you don't address this problem, this is not a sexy problem. This is a boring problem, right? This is a
Yeah.
CFO problem, right?
Right. Yeah.
When you
Cash.
will go from 10,000, you're gonna keep on spending. And I can tell you, I can put up 50 founders plus, right? On that, in that room, that I can tell you that I had to stop their spend because they were spending over $1 million a year on Meta ads and Google ads, and there were serious problems with it. And worse, the CFO had approved the spend without doing their due diligence. And in
Yeah.
certain cases, real cases, these are all real cases, After that discovery in the program, what ended up happening is the CFO resigned from the company because they were not doing their job. It's not just about
Wow.
bean counting. You need to be intelligent about how you're spending your money and where every dollar that you spend, should I spend a dollar on product improvement or should I spend it on meta ads?
Yeah,
Right? That's a
product
critical
improvement
question.
over meta ads if you want to actually sell product long term.
Yep. You have to think about like it's the same pocket. It's the same checking account the money is coming out of. I want to spend it where I'm going to get the biggest bang for my buck, right? And you
Yeah.
need to be intelligent. You don't need to obsess over, oh, everybody's doing meta ads, I got to do meta ads. No, in your category, Google Ads is probably a better option,
And
right?
you need to think long term. You can't just think about the short term impact, but what is the long term impact? And just looking at ROAS, that might tell you some things, but it doesn't give you the whole picture as well. Too, it doesn't look at the entire site. It doesn't look at the consumer's reason for buying. It just tells you like, hey, this ad converted someone, but it doesn't really tell you why.
Yep. I mean, one other thing that I find it quite humorous, right? People obsess over acquisition, right? Because everything related to ROAS has to do with acquisition, right?
Yeah,
Then I look at that they're on their like Klaviyo, right? For example, Klaviyo has, I don't know, 10,000, 15,000, 50,000, 100,000 customers that are in there.
yeah,
And I see a bigger problem. I see a retention problem.
right.
Most most Shopify businesses, 85 to almost 99% of their customers are one hit wonders.
Yeah,
They come
that's an
in,
issue.
they make that one single purchase, and they're out. That's a symptomatic of a business that does not pay attention to retention at all, or they have not built in a retention strategy with their product in order to bring that person back for a second purchase, a third purchase. And it costs anywhere from 15x to 20x more to acquire a new customer than to retain a customer and increase your lifetime value or increase the size of the basket that they buy from you on a even on that first purchase.
Yeah. The it's really, really interesting. People want to acquire more and more customers, but if you can just get more from the ones that you currently have and figure that out, there's a lot of opportunity that's there. Then you can think about acquiring those people. And then once you've got more acquired, you already know that you've got the ability to retain them. That's something that I've seen
I'll give
brands
you a
not leverage is they are retaining people and they're just not bringing more people in. The converse problem, they're not bringing enough people in to retain them. Like looking at some of the brands we work with on Amazon, they've got good subscribe and save retention. It's like, well, we need to find a way to get more people on a subscribe and save because we're going to continue to grow you and build your visibility organically with ads. But the more people that get to the page and say, hey, I want to keep paying you, and we don't have to have an ad cost for them every single time, that's going to build your organic sales and that's going to build your contribution and net margin too.
I mean, one analogy that I use with founders is that if you have more kids, doesn't make you a great dad or a mom, right?
It doesn't?
You already have 3 kids, right? And you wanna have what? Another 10, right? What
Right.
are you doing about the 3 that you already have? Yeah, and this applies to not only customers, it applies to your product portfolio too, right?
Right.
They have, 3 variations, yeah, it's a black, it's a white, and it's a brown color product, right? And they go like, "Well, my competition has 16 other colors." How do you know that the competition didn't fire that VP of whatever
Yeah.
that created the other 16 colors that is not selling and now it's collecting dust in the warehouse? And in your example with whether it's Amazon warehouse or your own warehouse is taking up square footage and you're paying for that square footage.
Right. Yeah. Insane. Well, Sabir, I think you could probably talk about this for a really long time. And I think that's exactly why you have your academy that you have. So why don't you tell more people where can they find you? Where can they find out what you're doing and get a hold of this expertise and doing the really boring, unsexy stuff that actually leads to growth and profitability?
So we host our my live sessions through School, Skool is Alex Amrosi's platform, right? So it's school.com/rapid2x. You can just go on there, learn about it. There are case study videos and stuff like that that's meshed together. You can watch that. And on there also, I have written a book. If you want to get the book and read it a little bit before joining, you're welcome to do that. But if you want to take action, and that, especially right now when we are doing this, Q4 is round the corner. You
Just around
wanna
the
you
corner.
wanna get this thing fixed before September or October, right? And then once we are in that last Q4, we actually do more intense sessions to make sure that we are getting as much revenue profitably as possible during Q4, right? So you can go check out school.com/rapid2x. If you want to go to my site, I have my own website also. You can look at a lot more case studies and stuff like that if that's what you want to do. It's growth by Sabir, Sabir, .com. You can go there and take a look at the content. I publish a lot of content and stuff like that there too, and case studies. The select case studies are on School, but all of the other case studies from the founder's mouth is on there, and you can see every brand in every category. That's one of the other challenges. Founders
Yeah.
tell me that, oh, but do you have a jewelry brand that does just like me? Blah blah blah. Yes, the answer is yes, because it's 200 plus brands, right? And with plenty of case studies, so you can find your competitors who are excelling at this by being part of the Rapid 2X program.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sabir. If you guys want to find out more, you heard where he said, but definitely growthbysabir.com. Go there, find out more information. That's all that we have for you guys today. So until next time, we're out.
Thank you for having me.
Good